Thank you, Riv. Tying it up here, 1-1.
Yeah.
The first thing I want to look at is what they were talking about in terms of pick spans, getting rid of Corki, Morgana, and taking Sivir. So removing 3 of the champions that TDK had played so comfortably with in the first game.
I think it's very smart by Winterfox, honestly. It's been a long time since we've seen TDK play. We've seen them win some games, lose some games. And, of course, they prep for this match. And you're like, okay, what do they come out with? What do they think is strongest? And, oh, okay, a whole different set of champions. Let's go remove those. You know, you compare that to what happened in the Dignitas series where I think Fusion banned intelligently. They know what they know what Dignitas plays. Okay, ban the Annie. Oh, okay, Ziggs is big. Okay, right, and they start adding the bans in, right? Similar kind of thing here. Winterfox is very smart to keep changing up what is actually big, what's actually working. In a game like this, you expect, okay, we'll just kind of keep the bans the same now.
Yeah, absolutely. So, I mean, that was good on Winterfox for recognizing that. I want to move into the early stages of the game here. TDK, we saw the opportunity for them to, very early in the game, cut off the top laner and Kez in the jungle. Or, no, sorry, Kez is jungling. And Helios in the jungle, in that top lane. They didn't do it properly, and ZionSpartan, you're somebody who has experience with this, as CLG has done this to many teams there in the lane swap, putting 4, pushing beyond the turret and zoning them off. Here they didn't do that, and I feel like it was a missed opportunity to get themselves an early lead that this kind of team needed, I feel, being only that kind of 2 major threats with Urgot and Lucian.
Yeah, I definitely felt like Winterfox had the better late game team comp, and you kind of saw that with the turret dive. They let Helios and Avalon walk under the turret. And it's 4 against 2. You shouldn't really be able to survive a 4v2 turret dive. You don't let them walk under the turret. You stop them, you proxy the wave, and then you stand there. They're not going to be able to walk between 4 people and get to the turret safely. And if they had gotten that double kill, or at least forced them off the turret, then they would have been able to snowball the game a lot harder, and then they would have been able to get to their strong mid-game and potentially overpower Winterfox. But you saw that Ziggs pick coming in really strong, and since they didn't get that tower dive off, things went south really quickly.
Yeah, I have to say the Ziggs pick, in response to what I was asking you guys in the last segment as to whether or not he could get to those kind of farm AoE champions, well, he's proven that he can. Impressive score lines from both him and Altec. So stepping up big there, that's what TDK was saying they're going to have to look out for.
Yeah.
Well, all right, they've stepped up. So what's TDK going to do in response, I guess?
I mean, TDK needs to clean up the games a little bit. I do want to touch on you talk about the mid laners real quick because now both times we've seen a very aggro matchup, right? Urgot into Ziggs. Urgot can try to bully his opponent out, but hey, props to Pobelter. Both mid laners now in disadvantageous matchups have survived the laning phase and just gotten farms. So hey, both mid laners doing a good job of having a disadvantageous matchup. Talking about TDK, though, and what they need to do to win, I just think they need to clean up the game. They tried to play the exact same style. They lost Sivir, they played Nami. It works okay as a surrogate Nami. Problem is their positioning was so bad that they couldn't keep that squishy backline alive, right? You still have the slow burn Mundo, you still have the slow burn frontline jungle Gragas here, but when your damage dealers drop away in the team fight, then you can't make that comp work anymore. And it was a positioning error. I think compositionally they were okay-ish. Maybe you drop the Ziggs ban in and try to remove some of that power, but I mean, they didn't do anything like really very different.
Well, let's jump into our replay, which is 22 minutes into the game. 3-0 for Winterfox in the Dragon. We're going to pull that up for you, Freak. I'm going to have you take this one. As it kind of shows exactly what you're talking about, a little bit of misplay and mispositioning by TDK.
Yeah, so let's start the clip out and let's just sort of watch what the damage dealers of TDK do, because Seraph's going to be fine no matter what. He's going to be in the front line. You can see Seraph is in the front line. He's fighting Avalon. He's doing everything he can, but Louis GG in the back line. Okay, he's well positioned so far. That's fine. Glebe knocks up some guys, whatever, but well, Smoothie gets blown up right away because you've got Ziggs, and then Louis GG does get stunned by Helios, and then Louis GG stays to fight. But the front line is already broken down at this point. And a lot of this actually is, okay, really good ult by Ziggs. He got a lot of early damage down, but also it's interesting because as much as I was like, oh, you know, Ricochet Sivir works out all right, but if your team is focused on killing people down as fast as possible, where you've got a champion like Ziggs, well, now you're seeing the power of crit, where you can break through the Mundo, you can break through the Gragas. Different strokes for different folks. Obviously, the Essence Reaver build did work in game 1, but when you crush the front line that fast, you know, CS got Altec can just break through all your tanks.
Yeah, I feel like this is one of those scenarios where we do look at the Louis GG build there and say, Essence Reaver not doing exactly what they need, as you mentioned. They would have much rather had higher burst damage there, get through that Sejuani, be a little bit of a threat. But beyond that even, I have to question the calls there, Zion, in their decision to remain and fight. When you have a Gragas and you have a Nami, there is the possibility after securing that dragon to disengage and get out. But we see them choose to stick around and fight. And then even as they realize the fight is going downhill, for example, LuiGG dashing into the pit as to back out with the team.
Yeah, I mean, that fight itself wasn't actually the best example. There was a fight later on in the game where, like, just Urgot and Lucian just get hit with the 2-man Sigil, and it's gone right there. That was just a simple fact that, well, look, Ziggs a lot of burst. He got a lot of damage right then. I mean, the Bruiser-type comp works if you actually get your fight set up, but, right, no Urgot swap. They didn't manage to misposition one of the big squishy backliners. Basically, Winterfox got to fight the battle correctly, where they got the damage output first, and Urgot didn't get to do Urgot things, so lo and behold, team fight, you know, with full damage output where Urgot has no passive, actually a lot easier to fight.
All right, well, up in the top lane, we saw Maokai versus Mundo. Mundo, very successful in the first game for TDK. A little bit less so here. I wouldn't say that the loss is attributed to the Mundo. But I think the next question is, as we've noticed LuiG with the potential to miss position, where could Seraph go in the top lane in order to put himself in more of a position to outright carry the game if LuiGG is not going to be able to do that?
Well, I think the two biggest picks there were the Sivir, especially for TDK, and the Ziggs. The Ziggs allowed Pobelter to scale super well in the late game, and the Sivir was just huge for TDK to just press ulti and go in, because I think when you have something as simple as Sivir ulti, like any team can just be like, okay, Sivir ulti, even in solo queue, Sivir ulti, let's go in. And if LuiGG isn't on that, then they don't really have that go button. And maybe Seraph might need to play something more carry-oriented, but I think it would just be better to stay on that Cinderhulk tank, stay on what they did well with the first game, and really prioritize that Sivir heavily, because I think that's the most important pick for TDK.
All right, cleaning up those individual positionings and plays, keeping the relative team comp ideas intact. We'll keep it tuned right here. We're just a few minutes away from Game 3 between TDK and Winterfox, with a spot in the NALCS Summer Split on the line. We'll be right back.
My mind is telling me no, but my
body is telling me yes. What the
in the back line can stay
Seraph
there.
not dead.
Here comes Louis now with the damage. Piercing light through Avalon as well as Glebe. They get taken down.
Watching team fight.
Cross.
Ignite Mundo.
I'm a guy.
Cross.
Good. Lucian,
Lucian, don't flash.
Lucian.
Nice.
Good.
Straight for Altec. He gets flipped around and plasma to the outside. Blown up is Louis XGG, but Alex is also getting hit up in the fray. Altec's getting hit up here, but I think he is just going to shred Alex each down. He does so. Kez is going to be the next focus.
Pobelter 706, Altec 605. Those two lanes flourish this game.